Hello and welcome to Talking on the Couch, the weekly podcast from Press Back to Continue with your host, Loanz and
Sporka!
Sporka. Remember to check out our other channels. So we've got the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitch, the Twitter, the Discord. If you do want to join us on Discord, it is discord.gg/TGS39DNUB3. Remember to check out our YouTube and Blue Sky. Blue Sky is starting to get a few more followers on it now, so please do join us on there. Have a look at our shorts, because most of the channels all have the shorts on, which is little segments of this podcast. You can also listen to it on Spotify and Apple and Amazon, whichever podcast platform you like to listen to from those three. This week's theme we are going with, as you may have noticed if you're watching the video, is UFOs. Because we just thought, why not? The world's a pretty messed up place right now, so let's go with UFOs.
So somebody's gonna be phoning home.
I think next week we've got most stupid accidents, haven't we?
Yeah, that'll
Thinking
be fun.
about it, that's going to be a good one. We had the Darwin Awards not so long ago, so to get away from the theme of death, next week we're going to do some accidents. But yeah, Sporka, UFO stories that have made you laugh this week.
Okay, Loanz.
Yeah.
In 1996, there was what's dubbed as the rugby ball creature.
Yep.
A man in Fife in Scotland saw a 1 meter tall, white suited rugby ball headed. That's 1 meter.
Yeah.
What are you saying 5 feet for? It's 1 meter.
It's 5 feet, isn't it?
We don't know. It said 1 meter in the story that I read.
It's fine.
Anyway, a rugby ball headed being walking around with a red lit satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something that's common in Scotland, I'm sure. Just
a red lit satchel is quite common.
When you come out of the pub off your face and your eyes are so squinted with alcohol, you think everything is rugby shaped. Look at that rugby shaped man.
Well, when I read this story, I was just thinking basically it's a small Scottish person in a morph suit. And the geezer is a bit far away, so the geezer's squinting his eyes.
Or Stewie from Family Guy.
No, because then it would be like a rugby-shaped head with a long body. But, yeah, so it's a 1 meter tall, white-suited rugby ball... Oh, it is red rugby ball-headed being walking around... Headed being, being as a person, walking around with a red lit satchel.
Yeah.
Someone's had way too many there. He's been on the Tenant Super.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have that in Ireland, but that's...
no, I've heard of it.
It's a freaking horrible drink is what it is.
Yeah. Paint thinner.
Yeah, that's... I really hope he didn't tell his mates about that.
Oh, I'd say he did. It sounds, by the fact that it's on Google, means that he at least told one newspaper.
Well, if I was this rugby ball-headed creature, this being walking around, and my satchel's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, I'd be a bit pissed off that I'm being called a creature, to be honest. I'd be like, hang on, do you mind? Like, I've got feelings, you know. It could have been someone with just a really oddly shaped head. When I was a teenager... in the place that we used to hang around and be like kids and stuff, I'm not going to name any specific places in Birmingham, such as Pigeon Park. Just throw that out there. But when I used to hang around, there was a guy there that we saw once. We only ever saw him once, and we looked at him, and he looked exactly like a frog. I kid you not. He was a frog, and we could not stop. We was all trying not to laugh to be polite, but every single one of us in the group knew what we was all thinking, going, "That kid's a fucking frog."
One of those situations you don't have to say what you're laughing about.
Yeah, we just knew. We just, you know, like when you come home from the pub, or if you're going to the pub and you're with some friends, but you don't want your partner to know you're going to the pub, and you can simultaneously in a group make up the most believable story anyone's ever heard, just to tell you not going to the pub when in actual fact that's where you're going. It was like that. So, if I was this creature walking around with this rugby ball shaped head, plus you're in Scotland and rugby is a very popular sport in Scotland.
It is.
Someone would have fucking booted that.
Yep.
So somebody would have went, lads, stand back. I'm
And by
going
the
for it. I'm
time
going to get the try.
by
Someone
the
would have
time
booted his head.
by the time this podcast comes out, either Scotland will be the Triple Crown champions or
Mm.
Ireland will be the Triple Crown champions.
Six Nations, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Mm.
the games between Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales, they play for the Triple Crown.
Yeah. Just
You have
don't
to beat
mention
the other.
England. Just
You
don't
just have
mention
to
them.
beat. Well, you have to beat the other three teams, and England
Yeah.
haven't beaten all three teams. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Or Wales haven't beaten. But
Yeah.
Ireland and Scotland have beaten the other two already, so they
They've
have to
got
play each other. So one of them will win the Triple Crown.
Haven't they got to play each other for it as well?
They're playing on Saturday.
Yeah. Going to be a good game. For anyone who follows rugby. But I'm
Looks
just saying.
like Ireland's going to be the Triple Crown champions.
I wouldn't put it past Scotland. Because you guys haven't been playing as good as you have been in the past.
They have 6 players out with injury.
Yeah, well, that's not a Scotland problem, is it? That's definitely an Ireland problem.
No, the Scottish have 6 players out injured.
Ah, shite.
We've only got most of our team out injured, so that's fine.
No, that's definitely a Scotland problem. But yes, someone would have booted that geezer in the head.
Oh, for sure.
It's not, even if any country in the world you see a rugby ball floating lit up as well, it's beckoning you. You're taking a run up.
You just see a guy crossing. You'd see him crossing the road, and like as the guy walks between like 2 telegraph poles, somebody's just gonna boot him in the head to try and get him in between the 2 telegraph poles.
That guy is gonna be walking around with a constant soundtrack behind him of way. Ooh. That's what it's going to be for his entire life. Because that's not an alien. That's just a geezer with a deformed head. Let's be honest.
Yep. It may not have even been a guy with a deformed head. He could have been wearing a hat.
He could have been. That's true, actually. He could have been to a rugby game, or he could have been watching the rugby at the pub, and he's just got a rugby hat on, like a rugby ball hat.
No, but he could have just been wearing a normal baseball hat, and it just so happens that the guy was so off his face drunk that it looked like it was rugby shaped.
It could be. Or maybe he had that, what's it called with your eyes, where it squints everything? That is an actual condition. I can't remember what it's called, but maybe you had that. But anyway, right, Sporka, do you want to say your fact again?
So this is about the rugby ball creature in Fife in Scotland in 1996. A man saw a 1 metre tall, white-suited, rugby ball-headed being walking around with a red satchel.
So many questions about that. It's just definitely not an alien, is it? A UFO.
No.
Yeah, this is UFOs, but you just went straight to aliens there, didn't you?
It's the whole thing. Like it's just general theme.
It's unidentified flying object. That's what UFO is. It doesn't have to be from another planet, but yeah, I think mine are all alien based as well, actually. But
some of them are. No, some of them are that I've got are spaceship based.
Yeah. Right, the next one on our list, I'm just going to read down the list, because we've got such a similar list, we might as well. The next one is in 1945, Sporka, 1945, the avocado ship. You know, because those ships that aren't shaped like an avocado, there's those square ships, let's say, those triangle ones as well.
And round ones.
Yeah, them circle, the donut ships, you know, with the hole in the middle. A 9-year-old, so already a reliable source.
Yeah.
A 9-year-old in New Mexico saw a ship shaped like an avocado that apparently needed help, piloted by beings that looked like standing fire ants.
Oh, okay. How did it need help? Did it have a flat tire? I have questions, Loanz. Were they lost?
I'm guessing so. It's being piloted. He saw a ship. It doesn't say whether it was a boat, though, does it? It just says a ship. I don't know if you have another source for this.
No, I don't. I've got pretty much the exact same thing. I'd say it meant like a spaceship.
Yeah, well, let's go with it meant a spaceship.
Why did they go with avocado? Why didn't they say pear? Pears are a lot more common than avocados.
Well, no, because you'd go with flying saucers, but this 9-year-old's probably talking to his mates, and they're going, nah, everyone says flying saucer shaped. Everyone says like avocado. We've got loads of them around.
Like, were
avocado.
avocados even a thing in 1945?
Of course they were. We
Like,
didn't invent avocados.
I know we didn't invent avocados, but like it was probably not very common to have avocado. Like, I
I don't
mean, you've
know.
got all the hipsters these days having like their avocados and toast and stuff in the mornings for their breakfast. But like, I don't think it was that
Uh,
big of a thing back in like 100 years ago.
we went to San Francisco and we
Hmm.
ordered a breakfast. I can't remember what it was, but it came with avocado. And me, I'm so common. I just looked at it and looked at the waiter and went, "What the fuck is this? Why is there green shit on my breakfast? What's this?"
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Guacamole is nice, but that's just guacamole or
That is
avocado. It's just the
avocado.
base. Yeah, but it's just the base for it. It doesn't taste like avocado.
I just, I Mary likes avocado now. Sometimes she'll have avocado on toast, so she's just added to the shopping list. Right, so I've just googled some as well. This is why they didn't call a pear. Avocados are significantly more common than pears in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that makes
that
sense.
yeah, so that would make more sense. I was just googling it why actually they didn't, but and also it's a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
What if you're looking at someone from a distance that's wearing a uniform, let's say?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a fire ant and a human from a distance wearing a uniform?
Well, a fire ant is like a fucking big red ant, Loans.
Yeah, but he could have been colourblind. He's just eaten a ton of avocado. I bet he's eaten some spicy shit as well. Like he's
Yeah.
seeing red at this point.
Yeah, but look up pictures of fire ants, Loans.
I know what a fire ant looks like.
It's like an ant, but fucking red.
Uh, are they the smaller ones as well? Are they
No, they're
smaller
the
than
big,
normal
huge
ants?
bastards. I think the fire ants are the big, huge bastards.
Are they the big ones? Are fire ants bigger than regular ants? Oh yeah, because I've seen them sting someone on the arm. Fire ants are generally not bigger than typical household ants. In fact, they are quite small. Told you they were the smaller ones.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't making that shit up then. And there's you saying, no, 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 they're big ones. I was thinking, are they
There's one of them
smaller?
called a big-headed ant.
Oh, no, that's just me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they're little tiny little things, and because I've seen them. In England, we get confused between fire ants and red ants, but
Yeah,
like
red
kids
ants are
and stuff.
different.
Yeah, I think red ants are bigger, but fire ants are little tiny things, and when they bite you, they're called fire ants because they bloody hurt.
Yeah.
I've lost my screenshot now of the facts because of you prick. um, I've just got to get my thingy back up now. Anyway, yeah, right there it is. But yeah, we're believing a 9-year-old when the police come over and go, "So, can you describe what you saw?" There was a ship, and it was an avocado, and there was guys, and they looked like fire ants, and he was just looking
Yeah.
around at local obstacles, wasn't he? What he saw,
Or
like,
it's
oh,
just what
avocado
he
there,
had
oh no,
seen that
fire ant there.
day. He had
He's
avocado on toast for his breakfast, and then
yeah.
like he dropped a bit of it on the ground, and the fire ants came over and ate it.
Do
And
you
I was
know
like,
that?
oh yeah, look at that.
You know that segment in Family Guy where they say, "What's your name?" and he goes, "P," and he's looking around at different things. Griffin, Peter Griffin. Damn it! That's what he was doing. He was just looking
Yeah.
around at shit nearby. That's all that was. And
What
I
a
want to know what ship he saw. Like, was it a boat or was it a flying ship? I genuinely want to know this. Someone find me this 9-year-old from 1945 who would be, how old would he be now? How many years had it been since
100.
1945? What are we in 2026?
Yeah. He'd be about
So that'd be
100.
60, 80, 81 minus. No, he wouldn't be about 100. 45, so that'd be 55 plus 26. 61,
What?
70, 80. What, he'd
Jesus.
be 81?
Yeah, no, the same age as my dad.
There
I
you
could
go
have just
then.
told you that ages ago. Like,
So he could still be alive. He's still seeing fire ants, and I bet he swears to this day that he saw fire ants flying a ship once. Or
eh,
maybe he was looking at it through a magnifying glass.
maybe.
Maybe it was tiny. Maybe he was just tripping balls, like the geezers off his head at 9, because there was a lot of chemicals going around in 1945 that had been dropped around, and he probably
But
had
it
some
was also,
PTSD there. Hmm?
it was also, there was many people seeing this.
Why? Yeah, that's a good point. Why was it the only one?
The incident in 1945, witnesses
Oh,
allegedly observed an avocado-shaped craft crash, with claims that this event occurred only 100 miles from the site of the famous Trinity nuclear test.
so basically they'd all got radiation poisoning and were hallucinating.
Or did the fucking nuclear bomb blow something up and blew something into the air that fell?
And what? And there's just geezers in red suits going shit, waving their arms about. Fucking hell! Help! That you know what? That's actually a more likely story. Like what he
Yeah.
saw was three geezers that had been blown to shit by this explosion, flying through the air inside a capsule or something that was in there, just waving their arms, going,
No.
"Oh crap!"
The nuclear bomb went off, right? So there's a test. Nuclear bomb exploded, went boom. Something flew out of the explosion and flew across the sky that was shaped like an avocado, like the top of like a fucking water tower or something. And
Yeah,
then a few guys in red radiation suits went over to make sure it was all right.
yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Sounds
That's
perfectly logical to me.
that is a much more it's a much more valid reason, isn't it? Really, than a 9-year-old saw an avocado flying through the air
And
piloted by fire.
isn't Roswell in New Mexico as well?
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's
Roswell's part
Roswell,
of New
New
Mexico,
Mexico.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm just thinking of the X-Files now.
New
But yeah, so
Mexico's a state in America.
it is a state. Anyway, right. So that was the avocado ship in 1945. A 9-year-old in New Mexico saw a ship like an avocado that apparently needed help, piloted by beings that looked like standing fire ants, opposed from those fire ants that we see lying down.
Yep.
Anyway,
The
right,
sleeping ones.
you want to go with your next one?
Okay, this is the Virgin prank, and Google wasn't too sure on whether it was the 1980s or 1990s, being that it's fairly relatively recent. I'm sure there's probably news articles about this, maybe some photographs. I don't know. But
There is.
Richard Branson and others flew a hot air balloon designed to look like a UFO, complete with flashing lights, over London on April Fool's Day, causing massive and major confused police reports.
It was 1989 that it was April Fool's Day. Just so you know
Yeah,
the
so why
actual.
did it say 80s and 90s? It
I
only
don't
happened
know.
once.
I genuinely don't know. Yeah, I've got a photo here as well of it, so I can post that to our Discord for
Yep.
anybody who wants to join that Discord. I'll post a photo of the UFO after the podcast. But
Everybody go look at the picture.
it was a massive thing. Like people actually thought, oh my god, this is the first contact, because obviously they hadn't
Yeah.
been watching Star Trek. Remember to move your controller as well sometimes. People.
I have my hand on the
So yeah, so
I've just
basically,
been I've just been playing with my little stick.
the thing the thing is with this story is I remember hearing about this story. It was too long ago for me to remember, but I've heard about it
On
because it
account of the
wasn't
fact that you weren't born.
exactly. Um, so it
Kind of
took
hard
off.
to remember something when you weren't born.
It took off early hours in the morning, so most people
Yeah.
wouldn't have seen it anyway. It's just people who were getting up early for work. So already they're tripping balls because they're tired,
Hmm.
and it what really got me is what they did was they built it in Bristol in a
Yeah.
factory that people knew was associated with Virgin, and then they
Okay.
transported it down the motorway. This
Hmm.
massive UFO ship just transported it with the Virgin logos and stuff on it, the advertisement for Virgin, and people still believed it was a UFO.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have seen it on the back of a truck. It was a fucking hot air balloon.
Yeah, but it had all the Virgin logo and stuff.
But they didn't fucking inflate it on the back of the truck. They probably
There was
inflated it when they got there.
I know that, but people, no, it didn't look like a hot air balloon. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, but it was still a hot air balloon. It still had to be inflated.
Yeah, but the thing is, the police informed the army that they were being invaded by aliens. that's that's they must have known because it's just so stupid. I know we hear about people saying these really stupid stories and about how they've stuck a probe up a cow for no apparent
Yeah.
reason, but it's such an unbelievable story that the police had to ring the army thinking that we're being invaded by aliens because Richard Branson has made it already public knowledge that this is what he's doing for an April Fool's joke. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a well kept secret.
But I think that these types of people are just going to ruin it. Because aliens will come at some point, and like they'll be
That's true.
hovering over a city. People are going to ring the police, going, "Yeah, I've just seen a UFO. It's hovering over London City." Yeah, that one again. Yeah, right. Sing her up.
Get Richard on the phone, will you? Get Dick on the phone. Come on. Um, and the best bit about it was though when they landed the hot air balloon, a guy dressed as E.T. walked out. People knew E.T. was a film with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah, because it was 89. When did E.T. come out? Like
I don't know. It
85,
wasn't really.
84, something
It
like
wasn't
that.
really socially acceptable to come out in the 80s, so like it was probably the 90s or the early 2000s.
Yeah, true. When did E.T. come out?
I think it was
1982.
70s, 82.
82 it came out. So yeah, the film had been out 7 years. People knew E.T. wasn't real by that point. Um, it's just such a ridiculous story. I bet the army just had a field day laughing at that.
Yep.
Did he get fined for it? I can't remember if he got fined for it.
It was the 90s, probably not.
I don't know.
People could take a fucking joke back then.
You say that now.
Yeah,
But
because I'm living now, and I know that people can't take a joke
yeah,
now.
it's true. How dare you insinuate something like that?
Exactly.
You know what? If people saw the shit that we send to each other on Facebook,
Yeah, we'd be cancelled.
oh yeah. Anyway, Sporka, do you want to say what your fact was?
It was the Virgin prank in 1990, did you say?
1989.
1989. Richard Branson and others flew a hot air balloon shaped like a UFO, complete with flashing lights over London on April Fool's Day, causing massive, confused police response.
Makes perfect
So
sense.
there you go.
Definitely a believable thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck's sake. Right, the next one is a recent one, and this was
Ooh.
in the news actually.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
this.
yeah. So this was called the Dancing Lights, and everyone watching, you may be able to remember this yourself. This was in Canada. So pilots, oh, hello, stroke, I've missed you. Pilots over Canada reported two lights dancing in the sky, which air traffic control could not identify. Let's ignore the sun's glare on the canopy.
This was 2023, by the way,
Yeah,
just when drones were becoming a hugely popular thing.
yeah, especially those ones with lights on them that perform shows and stuff.
Yeah, they're the ones.
Yeah. The ones that
I'm
go,
going to a drone art show soon.
oh, you're going back to another one.
Well, the other one was cancelled, so.
Yeah. But first of all, you've got sun glare on canopies. That is a thing. That's still a thing. They do shade it out now to try and
Yeah.
reduce it, but you can still get sun glare because you've also got the visors and stuff on in your cockpit. Because the
Yeah,
minute
but
they saw,
surely a pilot would know that it was like sun glare.
you'd think that, wouldn't you? But I think the pilot would probably know it's not a UFO as well. But and apparently air traffic control, it says they could not identify. It doesn't say that they confirmed a blip on the radar. Just says they
Well,
couldn't identify it, like they couldn't fucking see it, basically.
no, it said that they couldn't identify it. It doesn't say that they didn't see it on radar. They could have seen it on radar and they went, not a fucking clue what that is.
Nope. Why is it shaped like that? Fucking
Well,
avocado on my radar here.
probably wouldn't see the shape of it on the radar, in fairness. Radar's not like it is in the movies. It'll
No,
come
I
up with a
know.
blip to say
I
there's
know.
something there.
Radar suddenly becomes sonar in movies. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Full HD imaging.
I know. Why is it that like we can take a picture of the moon and its craters, but every single picture of a UFO looks like a tic tac? What?
Yeah, I
Why
know.
is that? Because
Especially with like cameras now, like.
oh yeah, do you remember when Samsung got in trouble? Because what they did, it's incredible. I love this. People were taking, they advertised that the phone could take a picture of the moon, and you could zoom right in and see the craters on the moon. But what they were
Yeah.
actually doing is when you took the photo, AI was using that image to basically imprint a pre-rendered picture of the moon on the cameras. It's quite clever that though.
Yeah.
But because it says pilots, it doesn't say how many. I'm guessing two. So I'm guessing it was like a training exercise because I don't think there would have been. It was either a patrol or a training exercise.
Was it though, or was it a commercial flight?
And oh, that's a good point. Could have been a commercial flight as well, actually. I didn't think of that. But and also, they've said it was dancing. Now I want to know what dance it was doing.
The
Was it like
Macarena.
Irish dancing? Was it doing ballet? What?
The Macarena. Hey, Macarena.
Hey. Could have been. It could have been the Rapper in the Sky. Now they're practicing their dance moves. They're going to enter Canada's Got Talent. But yeah, it said that they couldn't identify it, but it looks like it doesn't say that they couldn't see it. They just said they couldn't identify it. Because it could
Yeah.
have been another ship. Don't forget there's spy planes and stuff that would have been. They could have been in the sky and no one would know because air traffic control isn't always told about military drills. Like we're not told about military drills and stuff sometimes because they need to do it if they might have detected a threat in airspace, but don't want to alert the public, so they wouldn't have told air traffic control.
Yeah.
In which case there'd be ships manoeuvring up there, like planes and stuff, opposed to the boats that are up in the sky. But yeah, I can't. I just if you're on a commercial jet as well, if I was the pilot and I was on a commercial jet and I just saw two lights in the sky that were dancing about and I couldn't identify them and air traffic control couldn't identify them, do you know what I'd do? I'd turn the plane and just say, "Can anyone tell me what that is? Can it just look through your window? Does anyone just want to have a look?" Like I'm not. Then again, if everyone said, "No, we can't see anything," you'd go, "Oh shit, oh dear, who's put that in my dinner again?" And you'd probably scare the shit out of everybody on the plane as well. That you tripping balls. But yeah, so that was the dancing lights in 2023. Pilots over Canada reported two lights dancing to Macarena in the sky, which air traffic control could not identify.
Yeah, it
Next
was a
one, Sporka.
Canadian North flight.
Could have been the Northern Lights, you know, thinking about
No, it
it.
was a Canadian North flight. It was the Canadian Airlines Canadian North flight.
Yeah, no, just when you said that, it just occurred to me
could
that
have been the Northern Lights.
They do get Northern Lights in north of Canada. So it could have been that. It could have been the flickering from Northern Lights. But yeah, or it could have been meteors or meteors, wouldn't it, that disintegrate in the atmosphere because we get thousands of them every day. Go on, next fact anyway.
2 drones? Yeah, I'm going with 2 drones.
You're going with 2 what?
Drones.
Yeah, I think drones is a likely scenario as well.
Yeah.
But no, actually, because drones can't fly at the same height as commercial jets. Dude, commercial jets, I've forgotten the exact altitude that they fly. How high?
33,000 feet.
I was thinking 42,000 in my head, but I can't remember.
36,000 feet.
Yeah, it's between 30 and 40,000 feet.
Yeah. It depends probably on where they're going. If it's long range, it's probably higher.
Yeah, I think that's why I was
Short
thinking
range
42, something like that.
Because I think any time that I go to England on a plane, it's like it goes up about 3 feet and then lands again. It's not really that far away at all.
Skims along the sea.
I remember back in the early late 90s, early 2000s, I went with my dad a few times to the UK, and like on the old flights, you remember the way you used to always get like a meal on your flight?
Yeah.
You got a meal on the flight going from like Dublin to London. It's like a 50-minute flight.
45-minute journey.
Yeah, like you literally, when the plane was still ascending, the girl was struggling down the aisle with the cabin trolley thing, serving people meals. Like she was at an angle holding the thing back because it rolled out to the back of the plane. And then they're still frantically trying to clear off the dishes then when we start to descend. It was amazing.
I can imagine. I bet she was strong though. She must have.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I can't remember what airline we flew to San Francisco on, but they tried to kill me. They genuinely did. When we booked our honeymoon, we told them we're both vegetarian because we're awkward as fuck, and that I'm diabetic. I have to eat on the plane because I can't go on a 9 to 11 hour flight with no food at all, and you're not allowed to take like your own packed lunch on a plane. Really, they don't allow it.
Yeah, you can.
Well, it'd be taken off you in customs, but it's That's the point. If you eat the food on the plane, is it still a bio threat when you land? Because you've still got to turd it out. And it might have seeds in your turd. Anyway, just saying that, just doing that. But yeah, we got on the plane and they come over with the food, and we said, "Oh yeah, we're vegetarian," and they said, "Oh, we've got no vegetarian left." I was like,
Hmm.
"Great, cheers for that." So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was that fact. Sporka, do you want to move on to your next fact?
Okay. Oh, this one's the Silent Triangle, happened in 1996.
Good old
Multiple sightings in Scotland, included, alongside more serious reports, a description of a UFO that appeared only 3 inches long, despite being miles away.
So this is a matter of perception, then, isn't it? Because things further
Well,
away do appear smaller, believe it or not.
do they, Lance?
They do, you know. If you
That
move away,
anytime I think about things like that, I always think about the episode of Father Ted, where
yeah,
Ted's trying to explain to Dougal about the cows out in
yeah.
the field and the little model. This one is really close. Those ones
Yeah.
are far away.
I remember that episode. I used to love Father Ted.
Amazing.
But so this was in '96, so
Yeah.
they were probably on drugs at that point, and they'd
Yeah.
really got into their whiskies by then. So and it appeared only. Why do they have to add only 3 inches long? Look, surely that's a matter of where you are.
Yeah.
Because it says multiple sightings, so the thing's just stationary, is it? And if you're in different locations, should it be a different size then?
But like I'm looking at my 43-inch TV, and when I put my finger on one edge and when I put my finger on the other edge, then take it away, it's only about 4 inches long. It's weird how that
Yeah,
works.
yeah. I think it might be depth perception.
Really?
Yeah, but if you close one eye and do it, it changes size again. But
Yeah, but the really weird thing is, I mean, if you're
it,
looking at something if you're looking at, I'll give you, a cargo ship out in the water,
mm,
on the fucking horizon, it's only going to look about 3 centimeters long. If you got
if
a
that, yeah.
ruler and went like that, and yeah, that's 3 centimeters. But it's obviously not. Some of them are like a kilometer long.
Yeah, because it's depth perception, isn't it, and the way you
Yeah.
process it. But like I say, it says despite being miles away. Well, how many miles? I want to know how many miles, because then we can do the maths behind it.
Yeah.
And
But they're not going to tell you that,
but
and then
again,
you need to look at it elevation and
it just
yeah.
says Scotland as well. So one sighting could have been Edinburgh, and one sighting could have been like Glasgow.
Other place.
Yeah, just completely different place in Scotland, and yet it's still 3 inches long. So is it moving? Is it not moving? We need Scotland. We need information.
Yeah.
We
Come
need
on,
details on
Scotland.
this. You need to sort this out. But I reckon what was happening is the town of Loch Ness. I reckon they were just losing a couple of tourists, so they just threw that one out there.
Yeah.
Just there could
Oh,
be aliens
we've
here.
got a UFO as well.
Yeah. It's
We've
not
got a
just
lake dragon and a UFO.
we've got all of them. The shit over here. Like me personally,
Oh,
I
and there's a Yeti in the hills.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, they're both over there. They've mated and made a new one. You want to come see the new mythological creature?
A
It's
Sasquatch.
big Squatch over there, the baby. Like, personally, I do believe in aliens. I think there are aliens out there, and it might not be intelligent life, could
Because
be
it would be
microbial.
very fucking presumptuous of you to presume that we're literally
You,
the only life form.
you'd have to be incredibly arrogant to believe that
Yeah.
there's no life out there. I
Whether
know
we'll
that.
ever meet them or come in contact with them is very debatable. Probably not going to ever happen, but
Well,
stranger things
the
have
thing
happened.
is, the way space works is the further something is away, the faster light travels. No, space is expanding faster than light can travel.
Yeah.
So the speed of light isn't the speed limit of the universe because space is expanding quicker than it. So anything so far away will never be able to reach Earth and we'll never be able to see it because we can't travel faster than the speed of light and because of the rate that space is expanding. However, people say, oh, well, the amount of circumstances that must have happened in order for Earth to gain life, to evolve life, evolve all these creatures, evolve into humanity, such as the dinosaur extinctions, such as the other mass extinction events that we've had. There's been 6 or 7 of them on the planet so
Yeah.
far. on Earth. There's been
I
so many mass
assume it's
extinction
not the
events.
only planet that's had mass extinction events.
Well, yeah, Mars. That's in
Like
our solar system. That's had mass
even if there's
extinction.
no life on the planet, there could be still a mass extinction event whereby that would kill everything if it happened on an
Yeah,
inhabited planet.
but no, but what I'm trying to say is, people say, oh, well, all of these things needed to have come in place in order for life on Earth to exist. But
Yeah,
that's not actually 100% accurate. It's all those things must have come into place in order for humanity to exist on
yeah,
Earth. It doesn't mean that another form of life might not exist, because there can be silicon-based life forms. We're carbon-based. There might be silicon-based life forms elsewhere. There might be, like, plants breathe carbon dioxide. We breathe oxygen. Two very different things.
but it's not only that. Like statistically, if you look at all of the life forms on Earth, then chances are an alien life form, like I mean, like an intelligent creature. I don't mean like trees or anything like that.
So
Like,
we're going to rule out Americans straight away then.
yeah, basically.
I'm
They
joking.
reckon that it's most likely it'll be like a bug type creature.
Yeah, because of how many there is actually on this planet.
Yeah,
Billions
just
upon
based
billions.
on the types of
Yeah.
life forms that are on this planet.
Well, no,
Like
isn't it more
expanding
likely
that.
to be a marine type creature? Because it was
No,
70% water. There's more
no
marine
bug
life than
type
there is
because,
insects.
but there's not as many types of marine life. There's
There
fucking
is. We
millions of
haven't
insects.
discovered most of them.
Yeah, but like you can't just go, yeah, well maybe there's something. I'm talking about shit that they actually know. Because
I
otherwise
know.
you go into the fucking realms of like Trump supporters if you just go and just start quoting shit that you don't know about.
Right, I'm just googling it. We can't actually answer that question whether there's more insects or marine life, because we've discovered most insect life that can exist on Earth, and it makes up about 75
Yeah.
to 80%
No,
of
I
all
think
animal life. However, we've only discovered 200 to 300,000 marine life, but most of it hasn't been discovered.
yeah, but like I'm talking about like they're basing this study on what we know. They're
If you want
not
to go,
basing it on what we can guess. Like,
yeah, if you want to go down that route though, then surely microbial life is the most common type, because that's tiny, and we can't even put a number to how many there are on the
yeah, but
planet. So,
is it intelligent?
well, yeah, because it still breathes, it still breeds, it still
They're
eats.
all they're all automatic responses.
If you think my dog's intelligent, then you've lost the
It
plot
is to a
yourself.
certain extent. It's
No, she
intelligent to a
is.
certain extent. Like,
She's actually a very clever dog. Um,
yeah,
my phone's
like it
about
plays
to
with
die.
toys, even like to that basic level of intelligence. Like,
No,
it can
I know what
play.
you're saying. That
You
you're
know?
looking for life that has self-preservation and intelligence to be
Yeah.
able to create stuff, such as
They're more
the
looking at life that
Neanderthals.
could potentially evolve to a point that they could acquire space travel,
Well, that's the
basically.
thing. We can't between humanity and the monkey. So if we go right back to where where we evolved from, according to the Darwin theory of evolution. So we go right the way back into apes. Is it apes that we evolved from?
Yes.
I'm sure it's apes. Um, I'm questioning everything because of you on this podcast. So if we go right back to when we evolved from apes and stuff, between our DNA and our intelligence to them, there's 3% difference. So if you get a creature that's got 3% more than us, then how much more intelligent are they going to be than us? If we put an abacus in front of a monkey or in front of an
Yeah.
ape, they're not really going to know what to do with it. They can be taught to mimic what we do with it, but they wouldn't have an understanding of it.
Yeah, but
So
if
if you
they have
get
the
these,
ability to talk and communicate effectively, complex communication, I
well,
wonder
no,
how
because
intelligent
apes and
they'd be.
stuff talk to each other, but we can't talk to apes.
Yeah, but only like basically. Like they don't have full fucking
Well,
conversations.
we
Like
don't
they
know
can't
because we don't
discuss a
understand
problem.
ape.
I do, and they don't.
We don't understand ape. We don't actually know what they're saying to us. But this is my
Well,
point
let's
because
get one of them collars like they've got for the dogs to translate dog into
oh
English.
god, spoke about that last week, didn't we?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. But no, what I'm saying is that
Idiots.
between us and them, there's 3%, and we now understand. Well, we think we understand quantum theory, and we know how to travel in space. We know how to get to space. We've been to the moon. I'm not going into conspiracy theories with that. Yeah,
No.
we've
We're
got
taking
satellites
things
up in
on face
space.
value.
Yeah. We've got satellites in space. We've
Yep.
got communication, all that sort of stuff, and that's 3% difference. So
Yeah.
imagine a creature with 3% further on than us, and then everything in between that. All of that would be able to space travel, and then 3% on from them, all of that would be able to space travel. But there's so much that'd be able to space travel. I've forgotten what it's called now. There's a there's the theory of basically it's the guy who said that statistically the chances of life are incredibly high, but we haven't seen any. So
Yeah.
why haven't we
Well,
found any yet? I've forgotten what
because
it's
of the
called.
size of fucking space.
Exactly. Yeah, it's absolutely huge. It's
Like, we
uncompromised.
can literally only see with any sort of complex detail
We can't even see.
planets in our solar system. Like,
We can't actually see what we think we can see, which is a
no,
weird
like, I
thought.
mean, planets in our solar system are the only things that we'd be able to see with like telescopes and stuff if there was like large buildings or anything on them. Like, if there was like large structures.
Yeah,
If there was
well,
like,
we could see
if there
ginormous
was
structures the size of a star, but that's about it, really.
no, that's what I mean. Like, after the solar system, all you can see is gigantic things.
Yeah, well, even like we can't see what we think we can see because we got estimates of where things are in the universe, and we use what's called background radiation to create a map of
Yeah.
our observable universe. But
Hmm.
within that observable universe, light travels differently. It can be warped and twisted, and
Yeah.
it can travel at different speeds, and you don't know what's changed it, and which means it could be doing a longer journey, so you think it's further away. And there's so many different factors that you have to take into consideration. So life could very possibly be out there. We're just too ignorant to believe in it. Some of us. I mean, there might not be. We could be the only thing left
Yeah.
in the universe and which makes us incredibly important. Now, I'm way too pessimistic to believe on that importance.
Yeah.
Like, I am not important whatsoever. But
No, but like, look at like even our local space. I don't mean like just the solar system, but like say the next solar system across. Like, how far away is that, and how long would it take to
it's
travel there?
about 4 light years, I think. Something
Yeah,
like that.
and like, how long would it take us to physically travel there at the speed that we can do in a spaceship?
Ah, God, I do know this. It's a few thousand years, I think. So it's
Yeah.
Alpha Centauri,
So
uh,
if you were like a
4.2 light years.
if you were like a species that was at like the sort of the same technological advancement to us, you'd have to build like a giant like arc ship
Right, it
that
would take.
literally would sustain life on this arc ship for like however many thousands of years
Well, I've
to
just
get to the
googled it.
next solar system. Like,
I've used Voyager as a reference, the space probe
yeah,
that we've got going out there with its current speed. It would take 70,000 to 80,000 years to reach
yeah,
Alpha Centauri, which is 4.37 light years away. Or you could just fold space, but yeah,
yeah. But
let's
I'm
not go
talking
into
about
that.
somebody at the same technological advancement to us,
Yeah, that's.
even slightly
Yeah.
better. Like, even if they could go like twice the speed of us across
Well, it'd still take
space,
40,000 years.
it'd still take 40,000 years.
Yeah, so you'd need to get to be
You'd
within
need
our
to,
lifespan, you need to get to at least a quarter of the speed of light.
yeah,
However,
and you'd need to be like you'd need to have like a ship capable of sustaining a civilization
you
for that
you
length
would
of time
you would
to
need to
travel
have a
through
ship. This
space
is where I
at
get
that speed.
really nerdy. You would need to have a ship that exists outside of our space time. Not just be able to move quickly, but it has to move outside of our space time because the quicker you travel, time is relative to you. So if you was to travel for 1 year at the speed of light, turn around and then come back for 1 year at the speed of light, by the time you get back, even though you've only been going for 2 years, your children and your grandchildren and their great grandchildren would all be dead
Yeah,
because time would have slowed down for you as you travelled and sped up for them. It's so weird the way. So you'd need to exist outside of space time. It's really complicated. It's so if you was to go at quarter of the speed of light, then the chances are when you come back, the people that you needed to report back to are going to be dead. So it's the, like I say, it's the technological advancement that we would need to make. Anyway, right, shall we move on to this week's technological news? In fact, say that last fact again, Sporka.
It is called the Silent Triangle. In 1996, multiple sightings in Scotland included, alongside more serious reports, a description of a UFO that appeared only 3 inches long despite being miles away.
We really went off on a tangent there.
We really did. Maybe it'll become a famous tangent, Lance.
Like octopuses. We actually need to do one more. I've just thought about the balance of who's yeah. Right, so really quickly, the non-radar saucer in 2006. 12 United Airlines staff witnessed a metallic saucer-shaped craft hovering over O'Hare International Airport before it shot into the clouds, yet it never appeared on radar. Explain
Cool.
that one then, Sporka.
No.
I think someone just launched a missile.
Could have been.
Someone just did it a bit too close.
Saucer-shaped craft. Like the amount of stuff that they're like experimenting with and everything, like.
Yeah.
Like wasn't it like in the 50s and 60s that they experimented with saucer-shaped aircraft?
It was saucer-shaped flying cars actually, and they did work.
Well, yeah.
It was like hover cars. They didn't really fly; they just hovered.
So,
but yeah. For me, looking at it, it's the saucer-shaped shot into the clouds. So it's going up then already. So I think it's a missile. I think it's just I think it was traveling too quick for them to be able to. It would have been like a blink. And it's like, oh shit, did you see that? Oh, look at it go, look at it go. And everyone else on the stat, like one guy said it, and everyone wanted to bang him to become part of the Mile High Club, and everyone just went, yeah, sure, I saw that. Yeah, into the toilets.
Or it could have been like 12 baggage handlers that were just sitting around drinking and smoking.
It could have, on the plane? I suppose, 2006, wasn't there a smoking ban on the plane at that point?
Yeah, but if they're baggage handlers, they're on the ground. They're the guys who take on and off the bags off the planes.
Oh, yeah, because apparently it was hovering over the airport. So, it could have been the baggage handlers.
It could have been the guys that worked on the check-in desk. And
Yeah,
they're
they
not
were
exactly
definitely high.
Or not even high, just bored out of their fucking minds.
Lads, should we start a rumour? Let's start a rumour.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, there's an alien. Oh, yeah. Jesus. But
yeah, not really a lot you can say about that.
No, I think there is. I think they just could have been a hot air balloon. We just don't know. Like,
yeah.
It just went up. That's all we know.
That's what I mean. Like, it's 2006. Like, it's an era of like high-tech security cameras. Fucking, especially around airports. There's so many cameras and stuff like around airports and everything, security-wise, especially in America, because apparently they've had problems with aircraft before. It would have been more possible that more than 12 people on a hugely busy international airport would have seen this thing.
Well, this is what I was thinking as well. Like,
O'Hare Airport is in Chicago, isn't it? It's the main airport in Chicago.
I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
I think it is.
What's going through my mind is they're saying it went through the clouds and 12 of them all witnessed this saucer-shaped craft. But when you watch a plane take off, by the time it reaches the cloud line, it's tiny. They're able to quite distinctively say it's a saucer-shaped craft, which you could say a plane is a saucer shape because you'd only see it as a horizontal line. So you could have just said it's on its side. But they quite clearly saucer-shaped craft. So how big must it have been? So somebody else would have seen it.
That's what I mean. It just boggles the mind, Lance. It boggles the mind.
Right, that was the non-radar saucer 2006. 12 United Airlines staff witnessed a metallic saucer-shaped craft hovering over O'Hare International Airport before it shot into the clouds, yet it never appeared on radar.
And did you know, Lance? Did you know in Chicago O'Hare International Airport serves approximately 266,000 passengers a day, and only 16 people seen this?
12.
Or 12 people seen it.
Yeah.
Out of like the 266,000 possible people.
Yeah, let's forget about the people already on the plane that are in the sky, above and
Yeah.
below it. They didn't see it, but these 12, they definitely weren't smoking something on the ground. They saw it. Idiots. Right. Would
Right.
you
To
like
the news.
the next segment is our weekly news, so we talk about the tech news or technology news from the week just gone that we find interesting. This week we have two news stories for you. One of them, which is very close to mine and Sporka's heart because we play it a lot, and the other one is a fair point story, really.
Yeah.
But yes, Sporka, I'll let you start us off. I have a feeling I know which one you're going to choose, but I'll let you choose.
I'll do the popular choice, Lance. I'll do the popular one.
Go on then.
Okay, so Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, the much beloved game, are raising the price of in-game currency to help pay the bills.
Yep, by
So
quite a
basically,
large margin.
Fortnite uses a thing to buy your in-game content called V-Bucks, and you get V-Bucks for a certain amount of money. So, like for $6.99 at the moment, you get 1,000 V-Bucks. But from the 19th of March, that's getting reduced to 800 V-Bucks for the same amount of money. So it's
Yeah.
like
So
a
they're
big
also
percentage
reducing the
increase.
amount of V-Bucks that you get from the Battle Pass, forcing you
Yeah.
to have to buy V-Bucks in order to get these skins, and they're releasing a lot of them. Because we play Fortnite, we've live streamed Fortnite, and we're probably
Yeah.
going to do it again at some point on Twitch for everyone interested. We do live stream it. I can't say, I shouldn't say we like the game because it's got far too many bots in the game currently.
Yeah.
With every single game, there is a Discord that you can join, and I'm not going to start plugging out different Discords. I'll plug the Beardy Man group. We like that one. What's that? Combo Hive Mind. So you can
Combo
Google
Hive
that. You can
Mind,
join
yeah.
that one. It's a friendly one. But there's a Discord that you can join, and basically you upload your replay file onto the Discord, and it will tell you how many bots are in your server and what console they're playing on. It won't give you personal details and stuff. It will give you their statistics for the game, and you can actually I think what was it something like 82 bots was our highest amount in one of the games.
Yeah, 82. So
We was playing
82
as a four.
non-players.
Was playing as a full squad, the four, and it was something like 82 bots were in our server at any one time. But on average, we average about 70. So I think the lowest we've
Yeah,
had was
which is
something like
just
65,
crazy.
which is so you're not really playing against players. You're playing against bots, and you can tell they're bots. It's so obvious, and they make it really stupid. So basically, they're upping the price because they need to fund the AI that they've included in the game, which nobody actually wanted, and because
Yep.
they've had to pay these icons and whatever, and all the skins that they've got, and Disney, they've had to pay them so much money that's now for skins that we didn't really want. Not everybody's going to want those skins. That's then being forced onto us as the customer. So even though we wouldn't have bought the skin or we didn't want that skin, we're still having to pay for it because Epic are greedy little twonks. I was going to say a different word, but we're on a podcast, so I can't. Uh, yeah,
So
I just
apparently insiders have said that like it's they're either going to increase the price of V-Bucks but it's not ideal for players, but it's either that or they're going to make the game pay to play.
they
So
can't really make the game pay to play because you've already purchased the game.
yeah, but anybody going forward purchasing the game would have to spend like 30, 40 quid on
They,
buying the game to play.
they could make it a monthly subscription, I guess. That would be a pay to play then, wouldn't it?
Mm.
So just like they force you to buy the battle pass, that would then
Yeah, but
be a pay to play.
how many players would drop off on that?
There'd
You
be
see, I
loads.
don't think they can
Well, they could.
introduce that you have to buy the battle pass
No,
because
but
it's
I
all
was using.
cosmetic. It
I
doesn't.
said it'd
Yeah,
be like you basically like forcing people to
yeah.
buy the battle pass. If you just added Final Fantasy 14, I think it is. That's a open world game that's monthly subscription. World of Warcraft, I think, do they have the monthly subscription one as well?
I
I
don't
can't
know if
remember.
they're still pay to play or not. I
Yeah,
know they
yeah, no,
were when it
they
came out
have the
first,
monthly
but
subscription, then they have in-game items as well. So Epic could do that, where they just make it where it's a monthly subscription in order to play the game. But I just don't like the fact that they're forcing the things we don't want. They're forcing it onto us and then charging us for it regardless.
yeah.
Like you've got more skins than I have.
Yeah.
You've got loads of it on that, but none of it.
I'm also single, Lance.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I have to buy Mary skins and my skins, so we get half the amount. Um, yeah, it's just the thing is though as well. In this article, it says the game industry has seen a wave of price increases in hardware, software, and subscription prices over the past year, driven by rising development costs, inflation, and tariffs, which is fair enough. But Epic Games recently fired a load of employees. They just
Yeah.
they like block fired a load of people, so they're saving money there.
Do you know what looks like to me, from a very, very skeptical mind of things that I've seen this happening before? They're trying to artificially inflate the amount of money that they're earning to try and sell the company.
You know what? It very well could be because people
You
have
know,
done that in the
they're
past quite often.
trimming down on the staff levels and everything to like a bare basic amount of staff.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to maximize their profit base, and then they're going to sell the company for a stack, and then it'll be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, it's a very good possibility that, and it's a very good point as well that you raised there. Is that what they're trying to do? But I don't know. I wouldn't see Epic trying to sell because they've recent. Apparently, they spent
No, they could be
$400 million.
they could be just trying to sell Fortnite.
They could be just trying to line their own pockets.
Yeah.
Let's face it. They could be trying to artificially inflate it so that they can earn more money for themselves and their shareholders. That's that's
That's
what could be
basically all
happening.
it is. That's the only reason that you get shareholders in companies is for
Yeah,
them to make more money. So,
yeah. But then it gets off put onto us. Anyway, what was that story, Sporka?
so Epic Games are raising the prices of V-Bucks in Fortnite.
Cool, cool, cool. Right, we got 3 minutes to do this next story.
Cool.
Family of child injured in Canada school shooting sues OpenAI. Now, I'm going to really quickly sum this thing up. Basically, this kid, he was she turned 18 recently, and they went onto OpenAI and they inputted a load of stuff about how to do shootings and whatever, and their account got banned on OpenAI because of what she was talking about and stuff. But OpenAI then didn't inform the police or anything about the controversial conversations that she'd had. This person then went and did a mass shooting, essentially. So the
Yep.
parents of the people that died are suing OpenAI for not sending this information to the police. This tragedy could have been avoided if AI had just had a safety protocol. OpenAI did respond and say their thoughts and prayers and stuff and
Yeah.
condolences are with the family, and they will be inputting security features in the future
They're
in the
making meaningful
development.
changes to help prevent
Yeah, yeah.
similar tragedies from happening again.
Yeah, but at the same time, over here, if you go to speak to a doctor, a psychiatrist, anything like that, if you go even speak to an arms dealer, we don't really have them over here, but they are around. If you started asking questions like that, it would be the person's legal obligation to inform the police. When you've got patient confidentiality with psychiatrists, it's actually only confidential until you mention hurting other people or yourself, then the psychiatrist has to inform the police that this is
Hmm.
what's been said. They
Yeah, no,
can't just
it's
hold it
just
in.
like patient or doctor-patient confidentiality only stretches so far.
Yeah, yeah. If someone's life's going to be in danger, they have to inform
Yeah.
the police, which is essentially what's happened here. Someone's life was in danger and people have died, but OpenAI, which was who got spoken to, didn't inform the police. So I'm all for putting the security measures. I'm not going to go onto OpenAI and start asking it how to make weapons and things. I already know how to make weapons because
Yeah.
I was born in the 90s. Like it was just common knowledge in the 90s.
You can make
Like
your own gat, like.
yeah, we used to make mini guns in class, like with matchsticks and stuff, and use the little
Yeah.
gas and yeah. Anyway, we used to
You
do
can
that
get a
in class,
toothpick
which
crossbow on Wish.
yeah, 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 with the
They're
pens and the
amazing.
rulers and yeah, elastic bands. We used to do that all the time, but I'm not going to
A
go to
stick and
open.
an elastic band.
Yep, I'm not going to go to OpenAI and start asking it these kind of questions. It's
No.
you shouldn't ever need to, and it's not.
OpenAI previously said that it did not alert the police because the account did not meet the threshold for a credible imminent plan for serious physical harm to others.
Well, surely then they need to look at
So
their threshold, considering people
that's
died.
why they said they were going to make meaningful
Yeah.
changes.
No. I'm all for what they've said. Like they've learned from it. They're going to make the meaningful
Yeah.
changes. So I'm all for that.
Which
And
at least it's what they're doing. They're not just taking other, like, when something bad happens and the company just goes, nothing to do with us, fuck yous.
No, yeah, they've taken a credibility for it. They've been held at account, and accountability. That's the word I'm looking for. And I think that's good. However, at the same time, I think before stuff like this gets released, I hate this whole wait for something to happen before we act upon it attitude. Because the minute somebody loses their life, it's too far.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but like AI is such a fastly evolving technology. Like, like the way people even phrase questions
Oh yeah,
to
there's always a
come
way
up with
around
like
it.
completely different answers. Like even going
Yeah.
from one device asking AI a question to another device
As we
asking
found out
AI a
earlier.
question, as we found out earlier, can come up with wildly different results.
Just for our audience, what me and Sporka did, because we read this news article earlier, and we wanted to test what you could actually do with AI, not in a dangerous way. We wanted to test how
So
much it actually changes.
we asked AI to tell us information about this podcast, and it got wildly different results. So like I
Don't
asked
say
who
the actual names that it gave us, because it'll put that
no,
back into
because
the
they are,
AIs.
and they are like other people that do actually produce podcasts as well. But
Yeah,
like I put it in, it came up with my name a lot because Loans does tend to say my name a lot more
yeah.
in the podcast than your name is mentioned. So it came up with my name a lot, but like it came up with like wildly different names. Like I think there's about 6 at current count for Loans.
Yeah. And then
And then
some of them were so wrong.
when you say to the AI then and you go like, oh, that's not the name of the host, the AI just goes, oh, you're absolutely right. Thanks for
Yeah.
calling me up on that. This is definitely the name, and it comes up with a completely different name
Yeah,
again.
and you're just going,
It's
what?
like what?
Like there's always going to be ways to get around the
Yeah.
way AI works. It's humans created it. Humans can get around it.
Yeah.
Humans can destroy it. It's
And
just as simple as that.
the unfortunate result of a lot of this is that sometimes it's gonna like end up with somebody losing their life, which
Yeah, but
is a terrible end and it's a terrible tragedy. But once they learn from it and that is blocked out, that's probably the best you can hope for. They can't preemptively
I don't
like
know. But
stop these things from happening. All of these things, like there's so many different ways in which you can commit an atrocity.
yeah, no, I completely
You
get what you're
know,
saying. Like you
it's
have to learn from it in order to know that it
yeah,
can possibly happen. But at the same time, from my perspective, from where I've worked previously in mental health and stuff like that, there's so many things that can be said, and there's so many things that AI can highlight, and it can point out, and it can distinguish. AI can read between the lines in today's
yeah. Or
technology. It
even if
really
the
can.
AI doesn't, even if the AI doesn't read between the lines, I think if there's certain phrases that get processed into an
There's
AI
certain
system,
words and certain
it
combination of
should,
words, the same way a whitelist
yeah,
works, or
but
a
it should
profanity
refer to
filter.
an actual human.
But this is what
Like it should refer to a human that's actually able to cognitively think of these things as a human. Because
well
at the end
this
of the day, AI isn't never actually going to be able to think like a proper human.
no, it won't, but it can read between the lines. But what I'm trying to say, because you keep interrupting, you bastard. What I'm trying to say is, yes, it's really good that they're learning from it and they're putting things into place. However, what actually happened did result in somebody losing a life, and there are things already in place to stop this from happening, but they just didn't work. And that tells me that there wasn't enough in place to begin with in terms of security and stuff. And I appreciate that they took accountability, but they also knew the dangers of what could possibly happen. There's a whole risk assessments and stuff behind it. And Open AI, have you ever tried to go to support when it's got the AI assistant and you just end up
No.
going round and round and round
Yeah.
in circles?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the really simple answer would be, if something gets flagged up and AI doesn't, because they knew. they knew that it was a problem because they banned her account.
Yeah, so obviously the account was asking questions
Yeah.
outside of
So
what
they knew
was.
it was a problem. So what
Yeah,
then should have happened is it should have went to a human representative and
yeah,
flagged it up. But instead, it just banned the account and they left it. Even if they'd sent it to the police, just as a general thing, they could have an automated queue. Like the police could have just got an automated email to say this person said this. Do you want to go check it out? And then let the police decide. That's all they had to do, but they didn't. And it's such a simple solution. It
yeah.
literally account banned, but she'd already got the information, and then someone died. That's there should have been more in place to begin with. And I completely appreciate what you're saying, and you are right. They have learned from it. They have taken accountability, and to actually stop it from actually happening is extremely difficult. In the same way that over here, adult material's been banned, but there's so many
Yeah.
ways around it. It's extremely difficult to actually stop it. But if that open AI just sent it to a human representative or just sent it straight to the police on an automated email, then that could have been prevented in
And
timely manner. I don't know, but
but as well as that, it's very subjective on whether AI really could have had that much of an involvement in it anyway. Because there's been a lot of these mass shootings and school shootings and everything for decades before there was AI.
no, I get that as well.
How
Yeah,
did
but
they find
people
out
still did
about it?
it.
Like, so it's like,
But
how much of a difference did it actually make? You know,
yeah, but
like would would that person have went in and shot up the school, regardless of if AI had have assisted them or not?
just remember as well, because I know you haven't read this story completely, but don't forget this, because I said they've had their account banned. They had their account banned, opened up a second account, which also got banned with the same IP address and stuff, like the same details.
Yeah,
So they had two accounts that also got banned. Um, and they basically asked, yeah, so they asked AI to describe gun violence, describe the scenarios in which they can kill mass amounts of people, and they went through a whole different things of how to actually indicating an imminent risk to serious harm there. Um, yeah, they went through a whole list of how to actually do it and stuff with
yeah. And
OpenAI.
what's a real kick? Well, what is an actual real kick in the balls for the people higher up in OpenAI? 12 OpenAI employees then reportedly flagged the posts as indicating an imminent risk
Yeah, that's what it's just.
of
Yeah,
serious harm to others. So,
yeah,
like, there was human intervention, and still nothing was done about it. That's bad.
yeah. That's why I said they should have sent it
Yeah,
then to the police straight away. Like,
that's what
don't
I
wait.
mean. Like, but like those 12 people obviously didn't like. They obviously have to send it up the chain of people, and obviously the next step, they just went, nah, fuck it, doesn't matter.
I used to work in mental health, and I saw so many people see something and didn't report it because they didn't think it was high enough risk, and then the person did end up getting hurt.
Yeah,
So to me, I always said to people when I was training stuff and whatever, if you see something, anything at all, you immediately report it, or as soon as safely possible, you report it. We had radios and stuff on us. Even if it's the tiniest little thing, just assess the situation. And obviously, it could have been down to training as well. They might not have had the training to be able to recognise it. Because it's a big company, and
no,
like I say, they're
the
growing
12
incredibly quick.
The 12, I'll read the actual statement. The 12 OpenAI employees then reportedly flagged the posts as indicating an imminent risk of serious harm to others and recommended Canadian law enforcement was informed, the lawsuit alleges. Instead, it is alleged the request to contact the authorities was rebuffed and the only action taken by the company was to ban the account.
Now, you see, this is getting very controversial now because now the blame is with the company.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so
Yeah,
no, but that's what the lawsuit is. That's what the lawsuit is
yeah,
stating.
yeah.
That's the lawsuit. So it's up to the company to say, no, no, we done such and such a thing. So I don't
So
know.
this is where regulation of companies comes into effect. So they need to be regulated to ensure they are sending this stuff. And like I say, they
Yeah.
could have it training and all sorts could be right. Anyway, right, let's end the podcast there. Very sad story, not quite a light one that we wanted to end on.
No.
That was the story that unfortunately family of child injured in Canada school shooting sues OpenAI. Children were lost unfortunately during that, um, due to OpenAI and failures, systematic failures, let's call it. But right, so that has been Talking on the Couch. This week's theme has been UFOs with a little bit of tech news at the end, which turns into a whole debate. But sometimes debate's good. It's good to have two different sides of a debate. The minute this podcast is over, I'm going to say all sorts of stuff to Sporka, how he's an absolute. Anyway.
Yep. An absolute beep beep and a beep and a beep beep.
It sounds like a reversing truck. Right, so remember to check out
and you
the
look
channels.
like one too.
Remember to check out the channels. So we got facebook.com/pressbacktc, instagram.com/pressback2continue/ twitch.tv/pressback2continue, twitter.com/pressbacktc, discord.gg/tgs39dnub3, and youtube.com/@pressback2continue. I don't know what the blue sky is, but I think that's pressback to continue as well.
Yeah, it's pressback to continue.
bluesky.com/pressback2continue, something like that. And you can also donate to us at streamlabs.com/pressback2continue3/tip. And you can remember to check out this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Just search for Talking on the Couch PBTC. I've been Loanz, and
I've been the other guy.
He's been Sporka. Thank you very much, and good night, good day, good morning, good happy Ramadan.
Lent.